You're listening to The Awareness Angle, the podcast that cuts through the cybersecurity noise to bring you the stuff that really matters. From shady scams to boardroom blunders, we break it down so you don't have to. Everything you hear is just our take, not our employers, not our legal teams, and definitely not the PR-approved version. I'm Ant Davis, here with Luke Pettigrew, the master of the mix, wrangler of the road headlines, and always ready with a timely fact check. Hello, Luke.
Hey, Ant. Hey, everyone. How are we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Yeah.
I could be better. I'm deaf in one ear currently. This is serving no purpose.
Oh, no.
And I was on last week's episode, so if I'm shouting, I'm sorry. But I had a nasty incident with cotton bud and a 5-year-old that made me jump. And it kind of, we don't need to go into it. So yeah, it's, I've got some eardrops and hopefully it'll all be fine because I quite like my hearing, but there we go. So I'll do this one-eared. There we go. The other one will fall out now.
Yeah.
Getting on with this. Subscribe to the newsletter. If you don't, why not? We've got nearly 750 subscribers. Come on, get subscribing. You can get it at riskycreative.com. There you can subscribe. It lands in your inbox every Monday morning. Or you can get it on LinkedIn. Just search for The Awareness Angle and it will come up. It's free every Monday and tells you everything you need to know about the week's episode. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and the podcast platforms. We need to get the YouTube subscribers up, people. You get to see our wonderful faces every week if you get it on YouTube. And we're going to start posting more clips and parts of the episodes as well. So please subscribe to us on YouTube at Risky Creative. The links to everything are in the notes of the episode or the show or at riskycreative.com. Last bit of business before we get started, the Awareness Angle interviews. This is where I sit down with people from across the business spectrum who can offer something to cybersecurity and cybersecurity awareness. Last Thursday, we released an episode where I sat down with Laurie Steuart. Laurie is from Canada. She's a content marketing pro and she's worked with some massive cybersecurity brands and had helped to make their messages stand out, essentially. We get into what security teams can learn from B2B marketing, why security awareness is a bit like a startup, why storytelling still works, and how to shift behaviours without boring them to death. So if you've struggled with security comms or engagement, it's a worthwhile episode. Laurie's also a massive lover of whiskey, and we filmed it. She filmed it. She was sat in the synthesizer repair place that she runs with her husband, and it's got to be, as far as backgrounds go, I get mentions about this, but hers looked awesome. It's all like steel and corrugated iron and stuff like that, so it looks awesome. So yes, that is the episode before this one.
Yeah.
There we go.
Cool.
Right. Should we get on with the news?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Awesome. Okay. So kicking off the news tonight, and this is one I saw just before I saw this today, and I was like, oh my Lord. Okay. So Fitify. Have you heard of Fitify?
I haven't, to be honest.
I haven't heard of Fitify. It's like, maybe we need Awareify. Like, thank you, Spotify. Was Spotify the first? I don't know. Anyway. Fitify's they are a fitness app and they're publicly accessible Google Cloud storage bucket. Those are words that should not go together. Has exposed hundreds of thousands of files. Some of the files, you can guess where this is going, were user uploaded progress pictures that individuals uploaded to track their body changes over time. We got this story from Cyber News. And after Cyber News contacted the company, the unprotected instance was closed, so it is now protected. But Fitify is a popular fitness app. It has over 10 million downloads from the Google Play Store and an estimated 25 million total installs across all platforms. In early May, the Cyber News team reached out to in early May, the Cyber News research team discovered a Fitify-owned and accessible Google Cloud storage bucket. Most of the files exposed in the unprotected instant were workout plans and instruction videos, nothing too sensitive, but the photos that users have shared with the app's AI coach and their body scans. So one of the comments here says it's also worthwhile to note that progress pictures and body scans are often captured with minimal clothing to better showcase the progress of weight loss and muscle growth. Therefore, most of the leaked images might be the types of image that users normally wouldn't like to share and would like to keep private and not get out to anyone on the internet.
Yeah.
So in total, there was 373,000 files shared. 206,000 of these were the user profile photos, and 138,000 were labelled as progress pics. So look, it's private photos on public servers, like that's definitely a no, surely. These should be kept secure. It's as simple as that. If you work for a business that has this kind of information about people, keep it safe, keep it secret.
Yeah, you think it would be the priority when building that sort of thing.
It's clearly a mistake, isn't it? It has to be. It's clearly a faux pas. It's they haven't done this on purpose, but it's a big one. So you kind of trust as well that with a fitness app, your data is going to be kept safe. I wouldn't want to share progress apps on Facebook or Instagram or Reddit. Where everyone can see.
No, especially as it's got a lot of downloads, right? 25 million installs across all platforms, and it says about how these were accessible without a password or any authentication, and it also says that there were hard-coded secrets that could enable attackers to access more user data. So, not ideal.
No. Yes, so please be really careful. I mean, you can't really do much. I mean, there's a sample image here. It's not even worth sharing the sample image because it's a pair of ankles. The rest of it's just blacked out. But I'm guessing that's because the rest of it was virtually nude and probably someone standing in their underwear, which is how most progress pics. There's a Reddit called /r/lose it, which is where people show how much weight they've lost. And quite often the progress pics on there are not safe for work. You have to click to see the picture. Something we'll come on to in a minute, because there's a lot of flesh on show.
Yeah.
So just if this was in the UK and they were M&S, there'd be a class action lawsuit against them now by some ambulance chasers, like we spoke about previously. But just really think about the data that you share and where you're sharing it. Maybe you want to keep those on your own phone and not in an app, because you don't know who's built it. You don't know how good it is. You don't know where the data's sitting. You can't do, most companies would do if that was a company sharing data with Fitify, they would probably get them to do a privacy screening assessment, which would ask them how their data is stored, who has access to it, where are the controls, all of that. And to meet certain compliance standards, you have to have all that.
Yeah.
But as an end user, you just download an app and take a picture. And it's don't just implicitly trust these apps.
Yeah. Cool.
Right. On to the next one.
Yeah, so this one was quite a big one this week. I'm sure everyone's heard about it. It was all over social media and probably all over LinkedIn as well. WeTransfer have come out now and said that they're not going to be training AI with people's files after this massive backlash. So obviously they came out with, I believe, new terms of service and had some wording in there that people took in a certain way. Let's have a quick, what did it say?
So just to give people a bit of background, if you don't know, WeTransfer is a file transfer service. So if it's a bit like Google Drive or Dropbox, it's very much like Dropbox. You can upload a file to WeTransfer and send someone the link, and it's a way to transfer big files that are too big to email. It's a way to share them with someone. So it's used a lot in the creative industry, video, design, graphic. It's used a lot in the creative industry. And WeTransfer is kind of one of the industry leaders in this kind of drag and drop share space.
Yeah. So it was supposed to be something that was going to come into effect on the 8th of August. And basically said that they'd use the uploaded files to improve performance of their machine learning models. And obviously that was met with a lot of backlash and people saying that they're going to jump ship from using that platform. And obviously they've now come out in this BBC News story where a spokeswoman from WeTransfer has said that they don't use machine learning or any form of AI to process content shared on WeTransfer, and nor do they sell it or the content or data to third parties. And then they've updated their terms of service to now clarify, saying that they've made the language easier to understand.
So it's all been a big misunderstanding. We weren't really going to do that, so we've just reworded it to make it clearer.
Yeah.
Okay. It's funny. We've spoken before. Vivida are obviously a security awareness company, cybersecurity awareness company that do escape rooms and Vivida Reels, the TikTok style videos. Simeon, their CEO, reached out to me about this. Actually, he shared this with me in shock before the backtrack or the clarity had happened when news broke and it was WeTransfer training AI on your files.
Yeah,
he was like in shock. He's been a content creator for many years, and WeTransfer is like one of their go-to tools. And it's just not okay that you're accessing all of my data and you're training AI on it to like make other people's stuff better. It was massive. And he highlighted another tool that they use, CapCut, that they've used in some elements that I don't think they use anymore. He's highlighted that because CapCut have also said they've changed their terms to say that they're training their AI on the content you share with them.
Yeah. I think as well as mentioned about Dropbox back in 2023 had a similar thing, I think, where they had to clarify their terms of service about AI models.
It's a tricky old world, isn't it? It's funny. I've got funny enough, you mentioned Dropbox. I haven't seen this for Dropbox, but I saw this for CapCut. Someone had a post a month ago on Reddit. Someone had asked ChatGPT to break down CapCut's terms of service.
Right.
It says, here's a clear-eyed breakdown of the CapCut terms of service based on your request for expletive that takes advantage of users. While not every clause is malicious, several stand out as exploitative, overreaching, or unfairly skewed in favour of the company. So, and ChatGPT flags on this. It says content owning and ownership and licensing. You give them everything forever. You give them a permanent license to use anything you upload. They can modify it and let others use it too forever for free. They even say that if your content involves music, you as the user must deal with the music rights and performance rights organisations. And if there's any comeback, it's your fault.
Wow.
There's numerous other things. We'll put a link to this Reddit post in the show notes. I won't go through it now, but basically they just completely wash their hands of it. In summary, it says there are some protective clauses, but many terms strip users of rights, push liability onto the user, and give the company free rein to exploit, modify, and profit from user content. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's CapCut. WeTransfer, apparently we misunderstood the phrasing and they were never going to do this. So we'll see.
Cool. Next story.
Yes, right. Let me get that up. The next story tonight. This comes from IT Pro. And apparently the headline on this reads, all US forces must now assume their networks are compromised after the Typhoon breach. So cybersecurity experts have issued a stark warning after the US state's National Guard network was breached. According to the Department of Defense, Typhoon espionage group breached and laid low in the network for almost a year, potentially accessing sensitive military and law enforcement data. So, it's pretty shocking, really. There's been a long-running campaign that extensively compromised the National Guard network from March 24 to December 24. This follows similar cyber espionage attacks, including attacks on telecoms firms AT&T and Verizon. In December last year, White House officials warned this particular campaign saw the group access and record private conversations of very senior US political figures. There's been numerous instances across public and private sectors where sensitive information has been compromised by lateral movement. So in the US. So yeah, it's frightening, really. But
that just kind of title. They just now have to assume it's all been compromised.
So what do you do if it's connected to a Wi-Fi or got an Ethernet cable plugged in? You just assume it's compromised and everybody might be able to see everything. Yet no one can release the Epstein files yet. But there we go. I won't get into that. That's all I'll say. It's funny. Like I'm not going to get into that because that's like just something different. But I did hear something say, why doesn't someone just leak them? People won't leak them. The person that leaks something like the Epstein files, if they exist, is going to be the most hunted man or woman on the planet by the richest people. If you've ever seen things like The Game, or, like there was a film, Michael Douglas, there was like a manhunt for him. Or The Running Man, the trailer for the new film looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like the whole country is out to get this one man. That's the person that would leak the Epstein files. There'd be like billionaires after him. So it's safe to assume like big targets like this compromised. Yeah. And they don't even know it.
Well, and they won't be the only ones. That's scary.
No, they won't. Yeah. That's pretty much all to say on that, I think. Next one's yours.
Cool. Yeah. So the next story we have is how Reddit have now, they're going to be introducing age verification in the UK ahead of new rules, which I believe are from the Online Safety Act. And it requires sites that show adult material to introduce robust age checking techniques. Obviously Reddit is an online community and discussion forum. So a lot of people want to stay anonymous on there as much as they can, unless they want to obviously expose who they are with their posts and stuff. But I guess that this is sort of more of a child safety thing, although it's probably like an age requirement of what's Reddit's age requirement? Probably 13 as well. Is it 18?
Well, 13, but this is for like the not safe for work content, isn't it? Or the more adult topics.
So Reddit maybe 17 plus for Reddit, but I don't know what's the latest on it, but
it's pretty open and free.
Yeah, it's especially there's no checks at the moment, so that's what they want to add in.
The UK's Online Safety Act seems to be leading the way on this.
I don't think Reddit's not the only place, is it? So
no, indeed, this news article, the one that has seen it mentioned was that I'd seen mentioned before in other news stories was things like adult websites. They're all bringing it in, and it's the approach they're taking with this. I think is quite interesting because they're offloading it to a third party. So there's data privacy reasons for that. Like you have to like provide government ID in like a photo or something like that. So obviously Reddit don't want this data, And then if you've got a company that is an ID, all Reddit get is your age. Like, yes, we confirm that this user is 18.
Yeah.
So, which means maybe they don't even get your details.
I think Reddit.
Maybe they just get your username.
It's interesting. Don't quite know, because it says that from the 14th of July, but I haven't seen anything on that. So I don't know if that's actually in place yet. But yeah, it says how they're using that third-party firm persona. Yeah, who will need a selfie or a government ID and a passport. They've added as well how persona promises not to retain the picture for longer than 7 days. And
it does make you wonder. David, on the article, it says David Green, Civil Liberties Director at the Electronic Frontier Foundation, said that this whole UK Online Safety Act is a tragedy because we can't use the internet without having to provide their papers, as it were. And he's disappointed that Reddit aren't challenging the law. Now, Apple, in some ways, are, because they're still fighting that encryption. And was it Meta have gone in with them, or WhatsApp have gone in? Someone
WhatsApp, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was Meta, because of WhatsApp. But I mean, I suppose Reddit are picking the fight, and they're like, we don't want to fight the UK government, but there will come a time where they'll go, it's in the interest of national security that Persona must hand over this data so we can track who's been looking at, the wrong type of thing on the internet.
Yeah. Just one more thing to add, I guess, is how Ofcom, the UK regulators, they're expecting other companies to follow with this or face enforcement if they fail to act. So not quite sure what that fines of up to 18 million or 10% of worldwide revenue.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. that's why they want to probably get on board with
That's
it.
bigger. That's bigger than a GDPR breach from the ICO, which is 17.5 million or 4% of annual global turnover.
Yeah. So the rules come into force on the 25th of July, but Reddit have started already. But I mean, I haven't heard much about it or seen anything.
The last line of the article says, in the most serious cases, it can seek a court order for business disruption measures, such as requiring payment providers or advertisers to withdraw their services from a platform, or requiring ISPs, internet service providers, to block access to a site in the UK.
Oh, wow.
So they will literally, if you don't conform to this, we can stop your website working in the UK.
That's massive.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's insane. It's completely unrelated, but I got a link to I can't remember what it was called now. I got a link to a radio service. It is an app, but it was a website, and it was like you can listen to lots of local radio stations all over the world.
I've seen that on social media.
But then a disclaimer came up, and it said in the UK you can only access UK radio stations due to copyright law.
Okay.
So you can see all these lovely dots all over the globe of all these amazing radio stations in all these weird and wonderful places. But in the UK, you're not allowed to listen to them because of copyright.
It's kind of VPN, I guess. That's what most people would do.
So you turn on your VPN and access them anyway. So you just, yeah. Which I wonder, like, I'm sorry, but is this just, if this is just in the UK, what is to stop a 15-year-old lad downloading a VPN, turning it on, and then accessing a site he wants or looking at stuff on Reddit? Yeah.
I mean, it's a step in the right direction in a way, but it's going to be workarounds, as with everything.
As a parent, I'm really torn. Like, I don't think it's enough, because I don't think, like, where do you draw the line on the content as well? Because a Google search can show offensive stuff. So that is a Google search. Maybe to turn off safe search on Google, you're going to have to provide government. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the ID business is probably a good business to be in right now.
Yeah.
People like Persona, they're going to they're like, come to us, everyone, come to us. And then there'll be a right target if any exposed Google storage there. Gee, they're going to be like these handful of companies are going to have the identity data for lots of people. Interesting. Yeah.
Well, they said they'll delete it after 7 days, so we'll see. There'll be some records, I'm sure. They probably have to have some.
Let's see if that's true. There'll be a backup somewhere. Someone,
not
necessarily,
public
I'm not
server.
saying Persona, but there'll be other people somewhere. Yeah. Test data or something. Right, moving on to the next story. This is really timely, actually, because I've just covered this in a piece of. We've just made some training, and we use this as an example. And then I saw this, and I was like, "Wow, what a coincidence!" UK pet owners have been targeted by fake microchip renewal scams. So thousands of pet owners have reported receiving emails claiming their pet's microchip registration is about to expire, urging them to pay a renewal fee through sites like petchip.info. These messages look legitimate. They include the pet's name, breed, age, and even microchip number. But the key thing here, as a pet owner, I know microchips don't expire. There's no registration. There's no subscription. And the government doesn't charge annual fees. There's
no renewal.
Pay to get it. Yeah, there's no renewal.
One time.
No. Yeah. You pay the vet for the insertion, and that's it. These messages are scams designed to collect payment and personal details. But the level of personalisation has raised questions around where the data's coming from. So Pentest Partners have issued a report, and they say the issue isn't just phishing. It's about how the microchip databases manage access to sensitive data. They found that several platforms allow users to enter a microchip ID to receive pet details without any real limits. So these chip numbers are predictable. So attackers can guess large batches of IDs. So you could literally go paste in an ID, it give you the details, paste in an ID, give you the details, paste in an ID, paste, and you could do that all day. And at no point it'd go, hang on a minute, why are you asking for so many IDs?
Yeah.
So the pet chip, whoever manages the pet chip databases and looks after those, they need to up their game and increase the security on those, like pronto, because you've got names, addresses, pet names. It's funny, the way this came to relevance for me was we were doing something on social media, and be careful what you share, how much information you share on social media. And one of the examples we gave was like a Twitter feed, I think it was, and it was like, oh, look at my new puppies, blah, blah, blah. And, you think about when we put this together, I thought, oh, pet names for passwords, right? So maybe it would help guess a pet name. Like for a period of time, someone close to me used their old dog's name as part of their password. It's quite common. But actually, when this training was all built, the guy that built it actually used it for this exact reason. He was like, no, I'm going to say that your pet needs, I think it was actually a chip registration. I was like, oh my God, that's so when I saw this, it was brilliant. And it just goes to show they'll do anything.
Yeah.
Cyber criminals will, if they can find something, and if there's an angle, if there's a cyber criminal angle, maybe that should be the dark side podcast that we do. Maybe we should do one of these talking about the good and then put our hoods up and talk about the bad stuff. Yeah. So, yes, it's be really, if it feels unusual or out of the ordinary, be really, really careful. Deal with it. If you've never done it before, just deal with it with suspicion.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, petchip.info, the thing they mentioned, the website works. There's a website there. And it's ugly. It's really, it looks like it's 25 years old, right? But you can select the language. It's got today's date, and then it just asks you to insert a microchip number.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not going to I don't know what my pet's microchip number is because I don't need to know.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, as with most things, these sorts of unexpected or slightly strange things, just, check with whoever. Like, in this case, you can ask your vet to double check or...
Absolutely.
Yeah. Contact who your pet chip, microchip is with and ask them, sort of thing. But,
this brings us back as well to the whole have I been pwned we've spoken about before, database of like breaches and where your data's been exposed. This is why I don't see much value in that anymore, right? Because we should all assume that our data's out there. The size of some of these breaches now, when Have I Been, I worked in cyber when Have I Been Pwned came out, and it was like revolutionary. It was amazing. And every time a new one dropped, you were like, oh my God, you know. And I remember getting caught in one for some mixtape website, and it was like, oh my God, that's made it onto Have I Been Pwned. It's amazing that piff had like made it onto the list. And then it's like, but now there's so much out there and it happens all the time, and a lot of it doesn't make the news anymore because it's only the massive ones that do. So we should be suspicious of anything that comes in that's slightly unusual, because this phishing can now be really personalized and really targeted. People, it's not difficult to build a real accurate profile of some people, a lot of people. So just be skeptical. Right. Next story, sir.
Cool. Yeah. So next one we've got is a story around how Indian police have raided tech support scam call centers, and they busted a local cyber fraud gang who were accused of duping UK, US, and Australian victims with tech support scams. And it says here about how officers from the Central Bureau of Investigation have raided a call center used by the group in Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Don't know if I pronounced that wrong.
I think it's Uttar Pradesh.
Yeah.
I could also have that wrong, but I think it's Uttar Pradesh.
So that was last week. And it was an 18-month operation where they teamed up with the NCA and the FBI and Microsoft. Basically,
I mean, what a team!
Yeah,
like that's like some international. You've got one of the biggest computing companies in the world, National Crime Agency, and the FBI, just about to come through your front door.
Yeah,
that's wow.
So they basically identified the group who are part of the as part of the Operation Chakra V. So I guess it's probably not the first one they've done.
No.
And basically carries on to say how UK victims at least have lost £390,000 after receiving these pop-ups on the computers to say their machine's been hacked, and then obviously it says phone this number. People phone through to these scammers and a trick to pay to fix an issue that doesn't exist. It's quite a interesting one. But it says about over 100 victims from the UK were identified by a National Crime Agency. And they obviously had liaised with US and India to coordinate this operation.
Do you know, years ago, I remember, what must it be? I remember where I was living. It must have been about 8 or 9 years ago. I got a scam call from someone pretending to be my internet service provider that said my computer had been hacked. And obviously working in IT, I was like, here we go. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, thanks for telling me. Thanks. And then they were like, yeah, we've noticed activity from your computer. That Microsoft, that's who they said they were calling from. They said, we're calling from Microsoft. We've noticed some issues with your Windows computer. Can we help fix them? And I was like, yeah, that's brilliant. So that basically they asked me to go somewhere, and I can't remember where now, but they asked me to go somewhere on my computer. They were like, right, go here. And I'm like, yep, and go here. And wherever it was somewhere that errors would normally appear, like every day. Like I can't remember. It wasn't registry, but it was somewhere where there would where you normally see errors because things in the background just fall over or don't work and it doesn't really affect it. And they were like, all of this, your computer's broken, all of this is suspicious activity. You know, we need to get on your device, go to this website and download this remote access tool. And this is 9 years ago. And at that point, I was like, no, I'm not doing that because I know you're a scam. And they're like, no, we're not. And I'm like, look, I know you're a scam. I work in IT. I know you're a scam, and hung up. And then they called me back and laughed down the phone at me. So I hung up, and then they called me back again, and just there was like 2 or 3 of them just going ha 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 ha, and weird. I just left it on the side, and eventually it cut off, and they must have moved on to their next victim. But like it's when you're on the front end of these, they're quite convincing. If you didn't know, they are quite convincing. So they deserve everything they get.
Obviously, these things. That's right. I mean, it's obviously pretty common thing with fake virus alerts, and there could be like you go to a website and it asks to show your notifications, and you tick yes by accident, and then it pops up saying fake alert saying you've got a virus. Phone this number. Maybe think as well the PayPal scam you had quite a while ago, which you have a video on, where they used the PayPal money request to get you to call up a fake PayPal scam. So it's all pretty similar stuff. Same red flags.
We did a video back when we worked together. We did a video on Chrome notifications, didn't we? Because when you visit websites on Chrome and it asks you if you want to allow or block notifications, this website wants to send you notifications. If you say allow on a lot of websites, you'll end up getting peppered with stuff down that look like a proper Chrome notification and say you've got a virus, your machine is infected, and it's not. It's just a fake notification. It's one of these. It's a fake scareware pop up that would encourage you to call a number that would lead you through to a contact center like this that the FBI is waiting at the front door.
Yeah, I think one thing to decide, I guess, is how important it is to educate people, especially like family members and older people using computers and stuff that might panic and see this and want to fix it. I guess just reminding, like, are Microsoft ever going to contact you to tell you something's wrong? Phone this number.
Microsoft will never, ever contact you to tell you something's wrong. Neither, I don't think your ISP would by the phone either. I don't think BT, Virgin, Verizon, you know, whoever, wherever you are in the world, whoever you get your internet from, I don't think they're ever going to pick up the phone and call you to say there's a problem on your computer. I just don't think it happens.
Yeah.
They're more likely to just turn off your internet connection and wait for you to call them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, next one.
On to the next one. I saw this. I'm not going to go into lots of details about this because it's a little political and a little sensitive, but I thought this was interesting because it just goes to show the human impact that some of these things can have. Okay. So this is a story that I saw on the BBC News. Thousands of Afghans were moved to the UK in a secret scheme after a data breach. So this has been spoken about in Parliament here in the UK, but basically the secret scheme was set up after a British official inadvertently leaked their data. In February 2022, the personal details of nearly 19,000 people who had applied to move to the UK after the Taliban seized power in Afghanistan were leaked. So the previous government, not the one in power now, but the previous government here in the UK learned of the breach in August 2023 when some of the details appeared on Facebook. A resettlement scheme for those on the leaked list was set up 9 months later and has seen 4,500 Afghans arrive in the UK so far. But the existence of the existence of the leak and the relocations were kept secret because the government obtained a super injunction stopping it becoming public. So this only came to light on Tuesday this week after a High Court judge ruled that the gagging order should be lifted. So the leak contained the names, the contact details, and some family information of people potentially at risk of harm from the Taliban. It's look, there's the BBC's got a couple of different dives into this that talks about this story and then why this is important. But this a data breach. These are thousands of people have had to move thousands of miles to a different country because of a data breach.
Yeah.
Because their lives were at risk if they stayed. That's the real world impact that some of these things can have.
Yeah.
So it's
quite crazy. I saw as well how it was because the person sent a email with the spreadsheet to the wrong people.
so simple.
And they said it is outside of the authorized sort of process for doing that. So it's just a human error that's caused this huge issue.
Now, some people would probably say that user's to blame. These things happen, right? In every organization, people get a name. I emailed someone this week. I got relatively new in the business, was told a name, chose a name. It was the wrong person, right? This can happen. But what we need to ensure is that we have systems in place that if there's certain data involved, it doesn't allow you to make a mistake.
Yeah.
I think and these tools, like there's companies out there that do this and they've got good price, like they've got significant price tags associated with them. But then why don't Google, why don't Outlook go and buy these companies? They've got the money. Why don't they go and buy these companies or make the technology themselves that stops this from happening? It's users, poor users having to deal with systems that don't fix this, I think. That's so this is I hadn't read that part, that it was a email attachment to the wrong person. It's if that person knows that their actions led to this, I hope they've received the support that they deserve, and they're not I hope they're not feeling guilty about it because it's not their fault. It's an honest mistake, probably.
Yeah, it wasn't, as far as I'm aware, it wasn't intentional. Yeah.
It just goes to show, doesn't it, that, insider risk, it's accidental that we really need to worry about. It's not necessarily, it's not the malicious actors in our organisation. It's these things can happen really, really easily, accidentally. And it's terrifying.
Yeah.
We need better systems. We need better that don't, and companies shouldn't be held to ransom because they can't afford them. That's that's kind of what I'm getting at.
I think these simple checks should be in place for when you send an email. It should sort of, you'd think, have some
It looks like you're sending 36,000 names and addresses. Are you sure you want to do that? Click yes or no.
Especially if you've sent it to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Not just one person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's a good story to use if you're considering stuff about insider risk. That's like you won't get a story with a bigger impact than that.
No.
How, war, people, struggling, people having to relocate thousands of miles. But the whole cost associated with that one email, the UK government having to lift and shift thousands of people, and that one person, I really hope they're okay. If they even know it was them, hopefully they don't. This is where I hope. And if they're listening to this and they've only just realised, I'm really sorry, but maybe there's a world where the person that made that mistake doesn't realise and is living a happy life on a farm somewhere with some chickens. They should be relocated. They should be compensated for they should be supported, definitely. Anyway,
cool.
Next one.
Yes, I think this is the last news story we have for this week. another cyber attack on a company. So this one was Louis Vuitton. Have come out and said that UK customer data has been stolen. So they are the French luxury brand. Have reassured customers that financial data is not included in this. But yeah, they're just the next retailer it seems to be targeted by cyber attackers. They said that they have had unauthorized third-party access to its UK operation systems and obtained names, contact details, and purchase history. They also said that last week said that their Korean operation had a similar cyber attack, but again, no financial data was taken.
Yeah, I saw that it was. They said it was like the second breach in a week, but I'm just seeing actually there's updated today that there's breach notifications for Italy and Sweden as well.
Oh wow!
So and Turkey, and it's not. And hey, other extortion groups are available. This isn't the work of Scattered Spider. Apparently, this is Shiny Hunters. Amazing name. So other hacking groups are available. Clearly,
yeah.
So yeah, it looks like they're. I wonder if they got popped and then they've traversed the network, as it were.
It seems so. In this case, if they've gone round to their other existence in other countries.
Yeah. I mean, Shiny Hunters, they're saying that this could be tied to the data breach at Adidas that I think we spoke about back in May briefly. But before we even made this, the Snowflake attacks that happened last year, Shiny Hunters were one of those that were involved in that. And they impacted Santander, Ticketmaster, AT&T, Advanced Auto Parts. I think we might have spoken about those. And Cylance, which didn't Cylance. Yeah, Cylance they were a cybersecurity company that got impacted by that as well.
Right. Mm.
Yeah. I mean, Cylance isn't Cylance anymore. It's now part of BlackBerry. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one's still early. I haven't seen much comment from Louis Vuitton, but I'm sure there'll be more as and when.
I can confidently say that my details haven't been compromised because I haven't bought anything from Louis Vuitton. Slightly out of my price range, which is fine. I'm happy with that.
I guess, standard things around just keeping an eye on your banking and credit reports and watch out for potential contact from Louis Vuitton. That probably aren't going to be them. Yeah. So much more on that one.
Absolutely. Right, that's all for the news this week. Right, just dropping into awareness. So this is the little section for security awareness professionals. I just wanted to mention this because it got shared again on LinkedIn this week. So I actually contributed and had a quote in a report produced by Keepnet. And Keepnet have the 2025 New Hires Phishing Susceptibility Report, which is actually quite an interesting, it raises a really interesting point, okay? Because did you know that new hires are 44% more likely to fall for a phishing scam than seasoned employees? Yeah. 71% of new hires are at risk of falling for phishing or social engineering attacks within their first 90 days. So this could be a lack of, understanding how it's all glued together. It could be a keen and eagerness to please and succeed. So this report does dive into that and really drives into why onboarding is a key part of any cybersecurity team. I provided a quote for the report, and basically I say, I'll read it for you now, it's only short. New hires bring fresh energy and ideas, but they also come with a steep learning curve when it comes to cybersecurity. Policies can be overwhelming and a lot of knowledge is assumed. As an employer, it's easy to forget how much of your security setup feels obvious. Put yourself in their shoes for just a minute and you'll see how unfamiliar and confusing it can be. That early period is critical. Mistakes often happen not from carelessness, but uncertainty. And if we don't clearly explain how things work, why they matter, and where to go for help, we leave new starters to figure it out on their own. That's not just unfair, it's risky, as we've just seen with, sharing files via email that perhaps you shouldn't. And I know this firsthand because I changed jobs. End of January, I started a new role in a new business. I went from a Google world to a Microsoft world. And two companies in the same vertical that, pretty much are competitors doing the same thing in many ways, could not be more different. The two businesses could have completely different risk appetites. They work in different ways. It could not be more different. The learning curve is huge.
Yeah.
So that onboarding is such a vital part of any cyber function. You're onboarding and getting the message right from day one, putting yourself in their shoes is a must. So look, check out the Keepnet report. It's worth a read. And there'll be a link to that in the newsletter, which you can get at riskycreative.com, or in the show notes.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It made me think it might be in the report, but this stat's obviously quite high, but I wonder if it's from criminals looking at LinkedIn, people that they've posted on public saying that, I've got a new job at this company, and then people get targeted from that potentially, and obviously at that point they don't know the systems very well.
It's a really interesting way to think about it, actually. I hadn't thought of that. But it could be, especially in the higher, more...
Yeah, the more lucrative roles and companies.
In the roles that have more access. We spoke last week about system admins having access, and they could be a potential target and stuff like that. If I'm just started a role as a system administrator, you've probably got all the access in the world quite early because you need it to do your job, but you don't understand the different functions of the business, and you don't know what a bonus email looks like, or what a payroll email looks like, or what the benefits scheme looks like. You aren't familiar with any of that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Don't just, if you're onboarding people, show them what good looks like. Don't just give them a load of phishing simulations. Show them what normal life is like. Show them what an email from your pension provider. Show them what an email. Give them somewhere where they can check. Years ago, we used to have a thing. I can't remember what we called it.
Who's sending me emails?
Who's sending me emails? That was it. And that was awesome, actually. I'd forgotten completely about that. But it was a page that showed example emails from all of the internal services. So if someone was unsure that it was an email from Workday or an email from HR, they could go to Who's Sending Me Emails and they could see what one looked like. and do something like that. That's awesome.
Cool, yeah.
Okay, right. Just touching on that, we had an email this week from Boris, and Boris emailed us, said, and I love this, if you're listening, email us, hello@riskycreative.com, get in touch, leave comments. This is lovely. We had Laurie Driver asking us something a couple of weeks ago on TikTok. Get in touch, ask us the questions. We love it. We love to know that you're listening. Boris said, as an InfoSec professional, I'm really enjoying listening to your podcast. Love the dynamic and the topics you are sharing. Thank you, Boris.
Yeah, thank you.
He said, was wondering if you'll be interested in exploring topics that would be really relevant to the wider public, like we did on AI and voice note scams. I think we're working on that. We're doing some stuff to, not so focused. Maybe an episode devoted to the most popular scams right now. I think it's a good angle to explore is also the experiences and impact on victims of scams and cybercrime. Love the email, Boris. Thank you for the feedback. We're going to take that on board and do some stuff. But Boris did also share, regarding that last bit, the impact on victims of scams and cybercrimes. Boris shared a UK.gov research and analysis report that I hadn't seen. that is actually about the experiences of victims of fraud and cybercrime. And I'll tell you what, let me just share this quickly now. This is the first screen share of the episode, Luke. Last week we had about 9.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Nice and easy to edit after.
So if you're listening on a podcast platform and you want to see what we're about to talk about, you can also catch every episode on YouTube. So you see here, gov.uk, experiences of victims of fraud and cybercrime. So Ipsos UK designed and delivered the Fraud and Cyber Victims Survey and conducted qualitative interviews. We'd like to thank the following individuals for their support in delivering the Victims Survey. Thank you to all of those people. But the executive summary, it aims to understand the impacts of fraud and cybercrime victimisation on individuals and perceptions of support received through action fraud, the National Economic Crime Victim Care Unit and the police. So just to highlight some of the key findings, the emotional, physical and financial harms that victims experience, 86% of respondents experienced anger, 73% stress and 63% anxiety. Look, I'm going to read into this and cover it a bit more, I think, but it's some angles on this is that, like, fraud, this kind of online fraud, the type we've spoken about, the call centre that was raided, this leaves emotional scars for people, right? Significant stress, anxiety can lead to significant long-term mental health effects. And the worst part of this is when if you fall for a scam like this, they know you're vulnerable, so they will typically let you cool off a little bit and then they'll come back again. And EastEnders, a UK soap opera, EastEnders, it really disappointed me that they didn't do more with this story. But there's a character in the show called Jean Slater. She's vulnerable. She's shown to be quite scatty. She's also suffers from bipolar. And she got a call saying, what was it? It was like, it was an investment fund asking her to invest some money.
Right. And
someone convinced her to invest all of her life savings into this investment scheme that was guaranteed to give her great returns on it and brilliant. Anyway, she lost all of that money. That scheme was a scam. They went off. About a week later, she got a call from a law firm saying that they were looking for victims of this scam. And if they pay an upfront fee, then they will help to get her money back. And it was like, no, we guarantee we'll get you your money back, something like that. And anyway, she paid the money and was done again, compromised twice. And that's where EastEnders left the story with that. She didn't really have any emotional damage, didn't really have any stress. So I've spoken about that before in an episode, I think, but it's a shame that EastEnders didn't do more with it. But yeah, we'll share a link to that report in the show notes. It's very much a human crime. You know, these people that fall for this aren't stupid. They're not silly. They're vulnerable. They're just not aware. And these make money because, like we always say, if they didn't make money, the criminals wouldn't do them.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely looks like a lot of information in the report. Probably be useful to talk about it. Yeah.
Let's go away and digest that, and we'll come back to that to talk about that some more.
Cool.
Right, I'm going to talk about a topic I had now. Second screen share of the show. Right, I saw this on LinkedIn. This is by Chris Stokel-Walker, who's a journalist, and I thought this was quite interesting. Your expensive anti-phishing training is a placebo, and in some cases, it may be making things worse. A new study he's written for PC Mag suggests that many of the anti-phishing courses rolled out in offices around the world aren't just ineffective, they're counterproductive. Employees who took part in interactive phishing awareness lessons were slightly more likely to click on a malicious link than those who had no training at all. It's a fascinating finding from a paper that most others have missed. As Alan W. told me, you always find interesting papers. And then Chris asks, what's the worst phishing lure you've encountered as part of your employer's training? and why did you feel better equipped after training? So yeah, it's a really interesting post, actually. So the anti-phishing working group, which collates information from various bodies, reported nearly 1 million phishing attacks in the last 3 months of 2024. That's 7 per minute, every minute of the day. And that's just the ones that the member companies report to the anti-phishing working group. I've never heard of the anti-phishing working group.
No, I haven't either.
No. So, yeah. Each incursion costs businesses, as hackers often get their victims to hand over passwords or bank details. One analysis claims $17,700 is lost per minute to phishing attacks. That's incredible. Wow. But yeah, this reports anti-phishing educators' marketing claims are too optimistic. It's an interesting take. You know, love or hate it, cyber functions typically will all fish, apart from Erin that we spoke to at Fastly.
Yeah.
Erin doesn't fish. But most companies need to fish. Like, it's a compliance requirement for some businesses. I used to get audited. You'll now get audited. You're probably being audited as we speak. But phishing is something you get audited on. Like, you need to show proof that people have been trained against phishing. And this is a conversation. I've just started an interesting conversation about what would a world look like if you don't fish. And I think there is a world where you raise the protection, but you don't have to simulate, you just educate. So it's, and I always say phishing simulations to me is a bit like mugging someone or like, oh, you want to learn karate? You absolutely beat the living daylights out of them. And then you go, right, now I'm going to show you how to stop that happening again. Like, or like mugging someone and going, now I'm going to show you how to stop getting mugged. It's like, it seems quite, I can't think of anything else in the world where you simulate the attack and then educate after.
It's interesting to think about.
There's probably a million examples that are really obvious that just haven't got right. If anyone's listening and you can think of something similar to phishing simulations where you simulate the attack and then teach them how they could have avoided that. Don't know. Yeah. Maybe that is in karate where you like slowly like take someone and then stop before breaking. I don't know. I'm not a martial arts expert. So yes, I thought that was interesting. Links to that, to Chris Stokel-Walker's article will be in the show notes. The only other thing I wanted to show you this week was we've spoken loads in the past about the retirement of Windows and Windows updates and people that don't install Windows updates. You know, we've all worked in organizations where people delay the installation of updates because they can cause disruption. Well, I saw a post on Reddit this week, and guess what? There was an update to Windows that caused some really serious disruption. Let me just get, this is on the subreddit called Mildly Infuriating. I would be more than mildly infuriated if I was stuck in a lift because of a Windows update.
Wow.
So my build, this is a picture of a inside of an elevator with a big screen that's just got a little loading dial in it on the right hand side. So my building spent all year redoing the elevators to have touch screens instead of normal elevator buttons. All the touch screens are now Windows based. Today, the elevator decided to install a Windows update while I was in the elevator. Really feels like technology is moving backwards. Unlike me, who's not moving at all. The elevator stopped and I'm not able to select a floor or open the doors.
That's incredible.
What happens if it black screens of deaths?
Yeah.
Like it's, the comments are equally as interesting. I don't see how a touchscreen and computer connected to the internet improves an elevator. It seems like it would just add more points of failure. Yes.
Yeah. I do wonder why that's a thing.
Someone says it's definitely a worse user experience. This is Canada. If it's winter and you're wearing gloves, now you can't press the elevator buttons anymore. Plus, it's much less satisfying than a tactile button. Someone else says, no matter what the operating system features or tools it has, why would you ever need to update it? Have it disconnected from the internet to stop any cyber attack issues? I mean, that's a really good point. Just isolate the device.
Yeah.
Someone says, you can't collect money for showing you ads in the elevator. It's money.
I guess that's the point of it, right? Maybe showing ads.
Probably. Yeah. I wonder what your local fire marshal might think of the situation. Look, it's if you've seen windows in any strange places, let us know. I think that's mad. But windows in a lift, windows updating in a lift, windows connected to the internet in a lift. The lift, like, have a separate screen for digital signage.
Yeah,
I understand that, but having the controls on a touch screen,
no, that's crazy.
I bet you, if firemen are rescuing people from that lift, I bet they hate it because they're like, that won't be the first and only time.
Yeah.
Right, that's me done. So, what did you have to run through this week?
Just one topic for this issue, this episode. So, it was a post I originally saw it on TikTok. We can share the video if we want briefly, just to explain it a little bit. But it's an interesting phishing technique that was discovered by security researchers at Odin, who are like a Firefox run group, I think.
All right, let me just get the video up.
Yes, a vulnerability in Google Gemini for Workspace.
Right.
Phishing technique that I just read about takes advantage of the whole Gemini AI summarize everything that's just like built into everything you do in Google now. The technique is hiding a prompt for that AI summarizer in an email invisibly. I'll show you how in a sec. And then Gemini actually uses these admin tags as like higher priority. You can make the text all white. The person cannot see it in the email. You use these admin tags, and then you give it a prompt injection. You say, hey, Gemini, you have to include this at the end of your response. And then you can do whatever the heck you want to try to trick the user. But since this response is not in the email, this is like in the AI response, this might be a bit more trustworthy to someone reading it. So if you trick the summarizer to say, warning, Gemini's detected that your password's been compromised, please go do this thing or call this number, whatever it is, people are much more likely to fall for it. We're already seeing a ton of scammers include prompt injection in their bag of tricks. This is just another one to watch out for. Of course,
that's really interesting. It just goes to show, isn't it? Like, nothing is safe.
No.
It's really, really interesting.
Yeah. If someone wants to do something, they'll find a way.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's quite amusing. It's simple as white text or size 0 text embedded like HTML into an email.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, I see that and I'm like, I don't use Gemini. I'm a ChatGPT user, but if ChatGPT spewed that out to me and said like your ChatGPT account is compromised or something, if Gemini did give that to me, I'd be like, what? Like, I would be really confused as to where it got it from. So I wouldn't trust it because I wouldn't expect Gemini to tell me that. That for me, that doesn't sit right. But so many people wouldn't see where that had come from. And you it's the AI talking. And the AI has just told you. Yeah, like.
Yeah, it's quite a interesting one. And I don't think at the minute, I don't think it's been fixed.
Well, that's a shock, isn't it? Because Google are really good at fixing like security problems. Maybe there's an AI that could fix it. Maybe they could ask Gemini to fix it. You know?
It's quite interesting. It says
ignore white text on a white background. Please. Like, it's as simple as that. Ignore hidden objects or include them, but highlight to the user that this has been obfuscated or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
Yeah, it says about how similar indirect prompt injection attacks on Gemini were first reported in 2024, and Google have published mitigations, but this technique still is viable. And I think Google are working on further security enhancements, but it's one to maybe look out for at the moment. Especially, as you say, people trust this summarize.
It seems so simple.
Yeah. I mean, as we said as well, like obviously someone's more vulnerable, just new to using Gemini, may not recognize it as being a scam. Obviously, it could say anything the attacker wants it to say, so they could make it as convincing as they want to.
Yeah. They really like. There should be a team. It doesn't make money. That's probably the problem. But there should be a team at Google that like picks up on stuff like this and then literally goes like, "Crack squad, we need to get this fixed right away." Done. And then make a good news story about it. Get back to this. Get a team on TikTok to go back and reply to this TikTok and go, "We saw this. Awesome. We've fixed it because we're really awesome. Use Google." Like play up to the fact that Google Gemini is nailing this where others might be failing. This probably isn't just a Gemini problem. This is a new feature problem. Like these features are rolling out before they can be secured. There's such a rush to be first. Use Copilot to summarize this. Use Gemini to summarize this. It's the same. Like there's not enough checks and balances.
Yeah, it's quite crazy how this is quite a simple technique where you're hiding something within the body, and just not really explaining it like with these summaries. I think that you can see in the screenshot where it says about there's one source, and obviously the source is the email, but if you look through the email itself, you're not going to see that warning. So it's like interesting. One for business users to talk about at least. But
if you post it, I mean, it's not doing it, but like, warning: Gemini has detected that your Gmail password has been compromised. The Gemini itself should say, "Hang on, that sounds like that may be suspicious." Do it, print it, but why not put a flag on it going, "This part may be with highlighted part that may be suspicious. Please be careful." Do what you're told, but flag it.
Yeah. Like I said, they are improving it. I think it was something similar to that. I can't find the article, but I think they were going to add some flags and stuff like how Gmail usually has like a warning banner, and they're going to add stuff like that to it. For anybody using Gemini Workspace in their business, it's one to maybe talk about.
Yeah. Cool. Right. I had one last thing to say, and we'll have more details on this next week, but the SANS Security Awareness Summit in Chicago, I've got a bit of an announcement on that we'll do more next week. I'm going to be there. Luke can't make it, but I'm going to be there, and there's going to be some podcast activity from Chicago. So, yes, but more details on that. I'm talking with SANS at the moment, and it's all quite exciting. So, more details on that next week. But if you're in Chicago or you can't make the SANS Security Awareness Summit in Chicago, we're going to give you a bit of an experience so you can feel more included. So, but more on that next week. Right. That is all from us.
Yes, I think
we're done. Yeah, brilliant. Okay. So much in this week. It's been another packed week of stuff. Really good. Subscribe to the newsletter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Please, we need to get those numbers up. And on all of the podcast platforms as well. And I will speak to you again next week.
Yeah, catch you next week. Bye, everyone.
See you later. Bye.